Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today we discuss a model launched in 2025, the Omega Speedmaster Moonphase Meteorite, 43 millimeters in diameter in stainless steel. It's 14 millimeters thick and it's 48.5 millimeters from lug to lug with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now you can see it's got a pivoted end link here, so the true lug to lug is the span of the case. Thrown it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. Even though it's a 43, it wears nicely. You can see that the lugs are inboard of the edge of my wrist, so I even think on a wrist a little bit smaller than mine, maybe 15 centimeters, you could wear this watch successfully. It's not super thick, but it's also not thin, and the overlap of the bezel means there could be complications with super tight sleeves, but jackets should be just fine. You can see down the barrel, that's always your truest angle. Over the top exaggerates the width. Good looking bracelet, short links. You can see it's got a little bit of a dressy air to it, though it is vintage inspired according to Omega. Polished and satin, it tapers down towards the clasp. You can see removable links are fixed in place using screws. We have a thick gauge steel clasp and single swing arm, and then internally there's a little push button slider that gives you a few millimeters of adjustable tension release, or if you want to add a little bit of tension as your wrist contracts or shrinks, you just push that and then you slide it in and out. Just easy to use, just like that. But you have many individual removable links, so you should be able to get the right size. When it's closed, it is a twin trigger release. You have to press both to open it up. You can see that there's a distinctive styling to the clasp itself, so a lot of thought went into that. Lyre style lugs, we know them well. It is a Moonwatch style case where we have a little bit of a shear guard profile or an asymmetry from one side to the other to protect the pushers in the crown. Lyre style lugs with the inward and outward bevel, satination, polish running end to end for contrast. The underside of the bezel is polished, and then the top side features cold enamel, indices and numerals inside a blue ceramic tachymetric scale that can be used for gauging speed. You can see on the dial we have genuine meteorite iron. Hands as well as indices are blued for a subtle contrast. These are the Wittmann-Statten patterns created with a corrosive. The patterns appear in the iron, and then this is all stabilized so it won't oxidize further or dull with time. Now, if you look very carefully, you can see we have the northern and southern hemisphere moon phases, and those are made of actual moon meteorite or pieces of the moon itself. We have the moon phase, we have the chronograph, and I'll demonstrate how this works, seconds, and then coaxial display of minutes and hours over at 3 o'clock. We also have the I'll stop everything here so you can see we have the running seconds and then the date over at 9 o'clock. So if you want to make adjustments, there's two ways to do this. You can pull the crown out all the way and you activate the hacking seconds so you can set everything to a reference time. Or there's the intermediate position where you have a quick set for rapidly adjusting the moon phase, and in the opposite direction, it rapidly adjusts the date. We'll do a quick loom shot here. You can see that the chronograph seconds hand is luminescent. I'm also going to mention that if you take a careful look at the position of the stars on the moon phase disk, these are actually the positions of the stars as they would have been seen over Omega's home city of Bienne, Switzerland, on the night that Apollo 11 landed on the moon back in 1969. So even that little detail has been carefully considered. There's a very subtle blue on meteorite printing for the dial base. Now, turning it all over, you might notice that it's a manual wind. That's true. It is a manual wind conversion of the 9900 chronograph base to make it a little bit thinner. You can see it's a large and attractive movement with arabesque Côte de Genève and both polished and blackened screws. The movement has twin barrels. It's a manual wind. It's got a 60-hour power reserve. It has a beat rate of 4 hertz. So whereas the conventional 8900s actually have a beat rate of 25,200 vibrations per hour, to properly segment the seconds into eighths to match the track on the dial. This has a 8 beat per second variant of the coaxial escapement, so it's a fun little fact. And then turning it back over, you can see there's a lot going on. So twin barrels to create a very flat torque curve and isochronous or consistent timekeeping through the 60-hour power reserve. And we have a movement that pivots on 45 joules. It has a full balance bridge and a free sprung balance for shock resistance. You can see the presence of the column wheel through the skeletonization in the bridge. So the action is crisp. And when you start the chronograph, it has a vertical clutch, so the action is smooth, engaging without jump or stagger, also allowing you to leave the chronograph running full time with no additional wear or tear to the watch. That is a quality of the vertical clutches. The escapement, the balance staff, the balance wheel, all anti-magnetic, and the hairspring and silicon effectively amagnetic, so this is a master chronometer. Part of that test involves hitting it with over 15,000 Gauss of magnetic intensity, or over 1.5 Tesla of field strength. So this is almost an amagnetic watch. That master chronometer test also includes getting the movement through the basic COSC requirements, but then casing it up, testing it in 6 positions for chronometry beyond the COSC, evaluating water resistance, which, as you can see in this instance, is 50 meters, and then the power reserve, as well as durability and the anti-magnetic qualities of the watch. So the master chronometer certification, created with the Swiss Federal Institute of Metrology, is a more demanding, fully assembled watch test than the COSC's bare movement test. Finally, the coaxial escapement is an exotic tangential friction escapement system developed by British watchmaker George Daniels and industrialized and further developed by Omega to improve timekeeping, reduce maintenance requirements, and extend power reserve. And it's probably still the most exotic escapement you can buy for under $50,000 these days. Lots to love with this watch. It is dense with features. So reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.